to another live segment here with the You Will Make It TV YouTube channel where we share inspirational quotes, divine messages, and insightful topics weekly. So, yes, topic we're trying to keep them coming, especially in time for the new year because every new year comes new opportunities, new life. Right now, we don't even know what's in store for the new year. Some of us will be new mothers, new fathers. We'll be re-enrolling to programs, training to college. We'll be putting money down on their first home. We're going to speak positivity into our year, of course. But if you see, oh yeah, let me give this special introduction. So yes, welcome. If you're a new subscriber, feel free, and you're invited to uh, I mean, if you're not a new subscriber, you're welcome to become one. Click on that golden subscribe notification icon, and this way you receive notifications, is what I meant to say every time we post. It's not giving people the right to stalk your content. It's inviting them to support your content. You didn't think you had to say that, but it is what it is. Uh, so yeah, hit that like button, show your support. And you're welcome to tune in to previously recorded segments just like these. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. It's December 11th, 2025, 12 midnight mountain time on my neck of the woods. Reminding everybody to drive careful, be safe out there. The weather is changing. I saw in one state they have a blizzard warning effect already, a snowstorm coming in. So just be safe out there, guys. Like your jobs and stuff is important, but it's not worth putting your life on the line. And I know the economy is changed today. So it's not a problem with it's like the word disciplinary is on there. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how disciplinary or what we look at as authoritism and discipline is really starts at home. It's shaped at home. It's, when we say home, we ain't just talking about where you were raised. We're talking about your communities, like how were you taught in the beginning by your communities, uh, by your villages, by the people around you. You know, for example, some people teach their kids if somebody hits you, hit them back because that's their version of teaching their kid how to put discipline down when necessary when somebody is messing with them too. Others, I mean, I don't know too many parents who don't actually teach their kids that. I just always ask, like, how is that fixing the problem? But now I do understand, man, you let a bully go on forever and ever and ever, the situation ain't gonna never change. And people start telling their kids that at an early age, like, you know, you don't let nobody just, you better hit them back. Maybe they'll leave you alone. Maybe that ain't the case with everybody's bully, because they just like to fight and they like to fight you. They like to bring you in a fight. So, that's one thing. And then another part that I wanted to speak on is how you definitely shape a child's mind and everything about discipline based off who. Because I noticed that some people in some families and communities, like they say back in the day, anybody was open to just discipline a child. It didn't matter whose child it was. If a child was out of line, they step in and handle the discipline part. Now, I didn't go into details of what everybody's level of discipline look like. Some people just use time out. Others use grounding their kids. Others, yep, a whole spanking come with it. Cause what did you do? Um, Other times I just don't feel like it's right for just any old body. Cause I've actually heard people say that like, oh, I'll spank anybody's child. It's like, what is wrong with you? I can see how a person like that may care about kids because I guess you care about whether they have discipline or not in their life. But yeah, I just look at that with people because if you too quick, first of all, if you know you're a quickly angry temper person, you shouldn't be touching anybody's child. Like, because you could be whooping them for a whole stupid reason, like whole physically spanking somebody else's child for a reason. You felt like they should receive that, and they parent don't even handle them like that. They parent ain't whooping them with every time they turn around, every time they do something. So you'll have other people feel like they can step in. Well, this is how I feel like your child should be disciplined, and it be some crazy theories. Like, well, if I was the mama, this is what I would take the daughter through so the daughter could learn a lesson, or this is what I would take the son through. I'm gonna send some real gangsters towards the son since he thinks he's a gangster. Like, how is that disciplining somebody? This whole perception of discipline to me is just like different to me. Like, really, if you look at it, nobody, everybody feel like they can do what they want to do in this generation, and nobody feel like they should be disciplined for it. Honestly, even if they grown, even if they're a child, it it's a sad reality, but it seems to be true. Like real, like everybody's uh clarity of discipline has been because let's remember the goal of discipline used to be because you care, because you're trying to see people go down a better path, discipline themselves better than what they were doing. Because the only other opposite of discipline would be non-discipline, a non-disciplined person. Non-disciplined person might look different from a disciplined person. It's just gonna show. Like a non-disciplined person, you can't tell them absolutely nothing, bro. Even when you see them finna fall off the edge of the cliff, like they have no discipline. They've never been taught, like, hey, you don't, it ain't gonna kill you to stop and take a second to listen to what somebody's telling you. It's literally not gonna make your ears bleed or anything. Like, it's not gonna harm you just to hear somebody out. Even when if you do feel that type of blockage, that's all. It don't mean you strange. It don't mean you hard headed. I just feel like it means uh, you might be a little undisciplined, right? In certain areas of your life, it don't make you a bad person. But of course, depending on what it is, if you never find discipline in the area of your life, for sure, that area of your life is going to get a little more critical. Whatever you're doing is going to get worse, or it has the potential to. Because some people do learn self-discipline. That's a whole word where there's nobody disciplining them. I don't even think a lot of people, or majority of people even make it to that level. It sounds good, like, yeah, I'm self-disciplined. Like, are you? You can tell an employer that all day long just so you can get the job. But when you look at who you really are, you look in the mirror every day and you really look at who you are. Like, not everybody can just wear that title of self-discipline. And it don't hurt to give credit where it's due too. Maybe you're not self-disciplined. Maybe somebody helps you to remain disciplined. But if that's the case, how are you self-disciplined? Or what I'm trying to say, maybe some people carry more self-discipline than others. It's like that, and people don't like it. They have to point out where they feel like you're not self-disciplined. It's so stupid. Like it's a never-ending cycle. But what I don't believe in is just like people letting anybody, people that don't even have relationships with their kids, discipline their kids. Like just because that's your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife, and it's not your children's mother or father. And I know I'm not trying to tell people how to run their households. This is one of those sensitive topics that it's time to be brought out too. Like I never understood those parents that drop their kids off somewhere. Not saying mine was like that, but I've heard parents talk like this. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, oh thank you for babysitting the kids for them. Uh, if my kid get out of line, you got my permission to go ahead and spank their butt. Like you ain't never heard me tell nobody that. Mm-mm. Like, oh yeah, you got my permission to put your hands on my son or daughter. You sure do. Like you ain't never heard me. I'll never look at life that way as long as I'm a mother. So people would have to force their discipline on my kids, I swear. Cause it's they're not used to seeing me in a light where I am giving people permission to do that to them. You have to be very, very close. Even there's some close people that they might threaten like, oh, don't threaten my kid in front of me. Tell them that you will whoop their butt. No, you won't. I'd be like, kid, don't believe that. That person is not going. Well, I'm just using me for example. Like, and people can look at that like, see, that's why that person cares that, or she don't want nobody tell her. Well, if I'm like that about me, but if you rather them learn more self-discipline, you would have to teach them a whole different. You're doing a whole different caliber of parenting. As a matter of fact, I don't want to have to tell you everything and discipline everything you do. The more self-disciplined you become, the less I have to say, the less I have to fuss, the less I have to tell you anything. I caught on to that real quick as a young person. The point is not for you to become more sneaky. Well, if I just get away with it, I don't have to worry about being disciplined at all. And it's not just children that think that way. It's more of a child's mentality. But some people feel like, well, if nobody sees what I'm doing, ain't no useful discipline anyway. I don't plan on stopping. So we was talking about that on the last stream. We were just talking about the Kanika Jenkins, her mother, the updates with them, how people just feel like we're gonna stop it. You feel me? And that's why stuff carries on for so long. Like childish to ask yourself that. That anybody ask themselves that, how do they have self discipline? They sitting around fantasizing about who's gonna stop them. Either they've never been disciplined, they don't know what discipline feel like, or they do know discipline and they don't like it. It's a few religions actually like that teach against discipline, but this is what I mean. Like they want you to be disciplined with the ritual and everything else. Be disciplined, make a sacrifice, but really they teach them to be rebellious. And we all gonna sin a little bit. Yeah. You couldn't hide what you like to do, even if it's sinister. You know what I mean? It's probably y'all probably ain't never heard that, but actually I think like see I don't want to feel like I'm calling out certain religions, but I ain't gonna even name it. It's a certain religion they actually teach like they praise rebellion. It's a problem in a society where discipline is actually demanded of you. It's actually required of you just to have a job, just to do certain things. You have to be a little disciplined. You got to be willing to wake up earlier than you usually wake up and all this other stuff that comes with discipline. Discipline ain't just about beating somebody up, making them feel some type of harm. Maybe sometimes it is, because maybe some people feel like discipline is making you feel what you put on somebody else. Other times, discipline is just showing you how your actions might have affected somebody else. So now that you know, they say when you know better, you do better. It's a lot of another thing that shows that people are not as disciplined as they portray is like greed. Greed is not going to allow you to have any room for discipline because greed is going to lead you once you're possessed with greed. It just, you want what you want. And greed is not just about wanting something. You don't want nobody else to have it. You can never have enough. If somebody even touch what you have and you know you have more than enough to share, you still get upset. And it's like, well, I thought I could take a roll of toilet paper. And you had 20 toilet paper sitting up there, and the person still get mad. Like, no, that's my toilet paper. But it's like, but you got 20 of them. I just needed one roll to get through the day until I get paid tomorrow. And some people might still be mad. You took a roll of their 2020. You took one roll out of their 20. That's an example of greed. You know, yes, the person should ask you before they touch their stuff, but yeah, I do agree with that. You shouldn't just help yourself to someone because you feel like they have more than enough. Feel me? Oh, this person got plenty of money. I'm gonna just go to their purse and take me $20. That's the kind of world we live in. You know what I mean? Nobody has discipline, but everybody wants to be a disciplinarian. They want to be the one to say what the punishment should be, who who gets the whoop, who should have got a whoop and when. Everybody wants to be the disciplinarian. And I'm not even trying to be funny. You shouldn't be trying to be first in line to discipline somebody's kids and you lack discipline yourself. Like you literally lack discipline, whether it's with overeating, over drinking, over smoking, over working out, over having kids. It's a lot of stuff you can overdo. But they only like to point out what another person seems to overdo so that they don't have to be responsible, to be disciplined about anything. They ain't got to worry about nobody speaking on where they should be disciplined. But this is what it seems like to me. Everybody want to be the disciplined person, though. Like, oh, you do this to me, I'll do this to you. Well, nobody has to do anything to anybody if everybody minding their business. Carrying on, being happy, living their life. There's no need for anybody to discipline anybody. Even some professions, the manager's job entails of discipline when they need to. Do I need to fire somebody? That's discipline. Or they take disciplinary actions where you might get 3 warnings, but on that third warning, you're gonna lose 50-cent pay, or you're gonna get your hours cut, or you're gonna be fired. The more you lack discipline, the more out of control. What not that ain't the word I'm looking for, but like chaotic. When there's no order, and that's not just with children, might I add, that's with anything. You gotta have discipline in the place. Like people already know, oh, okay, if I do this after the third warning, I ain't gonna have a job anymore. If I do this on a school bus, they gonna kick me out the school bus. If I cheat on my girlfriend, she gonna break up with me. That's not her being evil, careless. That's a form of discipline too. Because since you couldn't discipline yourself, how about I leave? How about this relationship is over? Because you would expect more adults to already be disciplined. No, they feel like, no, I can have whatever I want. I don't care if discipline is required. Having a woman like you, I got to be disciplined. Okay. If that's too much for you, you go get a woman that you don't have to practice discipline with. You can have as much as you want it, when you say. For me, they should read through that too. It's like you can have 10 women doing it already. You still want another woman on the roster. And that's what you call greed. She ain't got no problem with nobody. She was like, don't like if she's chasing more discipline for her own self, bro, why would she need a bunch of undisciplined people around her? What are they gonna show her? How to be undisciplined? How to be rebellious? Oh, don't get it twisted. I'm rebellious, but I try to be for more positive causes. Like maybe it took me years to learn how to channel it that way because you're born how you're born. You're born, you like what you like, you into what you're into, the traits and things you carry, you carry. But do know the devil is always somewhere lurking. He sees your gifts too. I know y'all probably say, how is rebellion a gift? It's a gift because you can be rebellious against the right things. Like it could be hard to make you bow down to the right things. So I do say that rebellion can be a blessing, can be a good thing. And let me tell y'all something, even rebellion must be practiced with discipline. Like if you look at it, rebellion is just straight out 100% rebellious with no discipline, then what do you think you're going to get out the equation? I wouldn't want to change that about anybody's child. If they're a rebellious child, they're a rebellious child. If they hard headed, they hard headed. Maybe they're gonna be the future president. A person like that, you can't just bullhead them to do anything, do what you say when it well, they're meant to be a leader one day. But you think their child is a problem. No, I would rather more want to help that child channel that correctly. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're a rebellious person, you're a rebellious person. I can discipline you all day long, but I would be more interested if I notice that you have that trait, showing you how to use that power. You feel me? Because, like, I don't want you going to school just being rebellious to everybody on the streets, being rebellious to everybody. I'm not telling you being rebellious is bad. I ain't gonna tell my kids that you might be rebelling against the right thing. What did they try to make you do? Good. Did you rebel? Good. You feel me? Because look, even when you don't rebel against the right things, they hold that against you too. They be like, well, you should have said no. You should have walked away. You should have. But you have a problem with the people that actually do stand up against certain things because it's actually a good thing. They say you stand for something or fall for anything. And that's just like one of the scariest quotes to me because it's probably a true quote. You mean to tell me if I don't stand up for at least something in my life, I'm gonna fall for anything? That is scary. It's anything could be in that category. Like you can't live your life in that much fear where now suddenly you're just going along with anything. You know what? I'm not even ashamed to tell people I've been doing anything for so long, so hard. You don't even recognize you're doing it. It's going with the flow. And like I said, going with the flow, depending on how you use that power, it can be an okay thing, but going with the flow has never been known to be a rebellious act. You're not going to stand out doing it. People just want to like, look, I'm doing something different. I'm different from everybody. How is you different from everybody? You doing it what everybody doing? Yes, if people actually practice this, they'll see. They'll see. I wouldn't say it's a challenge being yourself, but they'll see the challenge that come with constantly renewing yourself. Staying the same, it's gonna cheat you out your own life. You staying the same, there's a billion other people staying the same. Now I wonder everybody be against the rebellious one. Like, why she ain't got black on like the rest of us? Why she ain't wearing her side ponytails like the rest of us do? Why she don't brush her teeth the way I do it with the spinning toothbrush? That's not even, those are not even discipline questions to ask. Just be grateful for about the way you do things. Don't you do them because you like to do it that way? A lot of times they'll say, well, I do it this way because this is how I was raised and taught to do it. That's like you saying everybody should do things the way your mother taught you to do it. Everybody should do what things the way your father or grandfather told you how to. That I mean, I guess that's understandable, but it's not realistic. Like nobody's out here all living up under one person's grandfather's advice, one person's mother, what they told them how to do it, how to tie their shoes when they was 5 years old. I ain't gotta teach my daughter how to tie her shoes like you taught your son how to. I would hope that we just both on the same page. We both have the same goal to make sure our kids learn to tie their shoes. You know? I see y'all in the chat tonight, but I say what I said. You gotta edify, work towards the edification of some of the things that might be hurting people today because how do you know what's right and wrong discipline when you was little? Your parents or family members let anybody whoop you, right? At first I used to say, oh, that probably was better back then. Just anybody could paddle your kid. But now that I think about it, I see where the damage has been done through just anybody feeling like they should be able to discipline your child. Like, because what I see is people have gotten too comfortable with it. Like, That's why they poke. That's why they're so eager and ready to poke their nose and hurry up and tell you something about your child. I'm using children for example because what other number one group can you think of that people stay ready to discipline? People swear that if you actually don't discipline, you're ruining a child's life. Now, let me not get ahead because even the Bible say that spare the rod, spoil the child. But I'm not just talking about children. You can see some grown-ups with spoiled then because they don't know no discipline right now. Right now, the son walking around here, it has nothing to do with religion. Some people follow religion and they still don't find discipline. So you tell me what the perfect religion is. Literally, a person can read the Bible all day long and still not find discipline. Discipline is something that you really do have to go with it to find, whether you had it growing up or not. I was just saying it seems to disorient your perception of discipline if people just let any and everybody discipline you. Be right. Like, what did you earn? Where did you earn a spot to discipline? So, yes, I might receive the label of rebellious here just for asking questions. They might say, well, I'm an officer. That's why. But no, officer, I have to have done something. That's where the disciplinary action comes in. Why are you just standing around trying to show your presence, make it remind me, like, hey, I can discipline you if I need to. You're making me feel like a freak. I remember the days I would wave and get excited. I mean, I wouldn't say I get excited, but if I seen a fire truck or police when I was little, I used to wave at them. I didn't feel threatened or uh, like scared. I didn't sweat bullets or nothing. When years go by, you don't know what to think when you see them now. I used to at least give a head nod how your heart is racing because you don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 seconds. Because it's, I'm not even trying to be funny, man. You should have a better connection with. I know some communities, they do things like basketball in the hood where the cops and the people, the civilians come together. They have little get togethers in events so the people can get to know them outside of their uniforms. You know what I mean? So they can feel comfortable. When you get to a time where people are scared to call 911 and they already scared in whatever situation they is, but then they scared to call 911. That shouldn't even cross your mind. Like, me calling 911 might make the situation worse. That's a win. Like, I might be putting myself in the crossfire for them to think I'm a bad person. I know that they are an example and an image of discipline, but our community should be doing better where we don't always have to call the police for discipline. That's stupid. As a matter of fact, our police step back for a second. Let the people, we know how to carry ourselves with discipline. Maybe everybody don't. Because why can't people just work things out within? We should be tired of calling 911. What are you calling for? To get things back discipline. Because you can't do it on your own. So what? That's what they're there for. Wasn't your job to raise everybody and discipline everybody. And then the people that still out here trying to do that, what have you changed in the world? Because you have the people name that you discipline. Did you change the whole world? Just discipline your two, your three, your five kids. Maybe you had five kids, you discipline all five of them, but the discipline only worked on three of them. It shows later. It only really carried over into some of their lives. That's why some kids that were disciplined had the top notch discipline. That don't mean they can still become criminals. You don't watch the Jeffrey Dahmer story? He had very good parents. His parents had differences, sure. You know, the movie made sure to show that, like, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer's parents were arguing sometimes, okay. But for the most part, he was disciplined, he had everything he needed right growing up, he went to a nice school. He still became who he became. I'm not trying to say discipline doesn't matter, but what about those kids? He was disciplined. He had a curfew. And, okay, they still didn't know that he was slowly becoming a whole serial killer behind their back by the 12th grade. So yes, discipline is pretty serious, but I say I would want to be more ready to show my show my kid or a kid that I'm guiding. Because sometimes you're just a guardian, you're not even the biological parent. But if you do have a responsibility of disciplining somebody, which that should stop by what, the age 17, 18? Because what can you tell them then? I just said it should stop. So if you hear parents seem like they talk a lot and then kids ain't that age, you mind your business. Because once they get that age, you can't tell them. Are they still the age that they can listen, hear, adhere? That's when you should speak on it. The problem is, you want to claim you need to be disciplined in your 30s and 40s. And that might be true. But how are you going to discipline you? That's what the rehab place is for. Not even a rehab, drug rehab places can stop everybody from doing drugs. So to me, discipline only goes so far to to that person is ready to practice self-discipline. You feel me? You can't just live off of the discipline of others. What life is that? All you know is you get discipline. You don't know no self-discipline. You don't know teaching nobody else anything about this. It just seems strange. All these people, well, yeah, I'm disciplined. They ain't got no self-discipline themselves. They're trying to discipline somebody. At least I won't be guilty of that. Like, I might try to talk people through things just to sit there and give you a whole corporal punishment for something I understand or I probably been through or I just feel like people should, and make sure they understand why they're being disciplined. Some of y'all just be out here calling yourself disciplined people. The person don't even know what's going on. And you tell them later, oh yeah, I hit you with the belt that day because of this. Except the belt was in the spirit and you're not God. You see what I'm saying? God don't even hit me with a belt in the spirit. What is you doing? It just said he chastised those he loved. So he might show a version of tough love here and there, like, look, I'm trying to take your car. Like I said, maybe it wasn't a good example, but I'm just saying, like, I do believe God disciplines people, but I don't think he's taking belts, whipping them upside the head, left and right, like slaves on a field every time they see him. We wouldn't call him a good God, a loving God. He earned his title for a reason. You see, they call him a merciful God, though. Mercy is like, you know how people be like, please have mercy on me. That's something you don't even deserve. That's why they be saying, please, please have mercy on me. That's mercy is something you don't deserve. But they say God is well known for passing it out. Grace and mercy. Grace is more like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a little more leeway. You're right. There was a short deadline. So I'm gonna give you a little grace. I know all about grace, grace periods. Even when I was just recently a student, I had to ask for grace periods a lot because I was pregnant while I was studying. But professors and stuff, as long as they see you trying, if you ask, like I feel like people be flunking and failing. A person that fail and stuff, they're not even trying because they'll give you grace periods, they'll give you extra time to turn it in. A school that is trying to work with you. I can't say that for all schools. Some of them be so ready to drop you out. It's like you have to ask them, are you really trying to see people succeed here? As quick as you was trying to push them out the door, you're not God. You don't show no grace and mercy to people. And they like, who is this woman? Always talking about we should give her grace and mercy. I'm me. That's what I'm used to. But you knowing grace and mercy don't mean you're not a disciplined person. Maybe that means God been seeing you trying. This is you will make it TV, so we do speak on this type of stuff because it might inspire somebody. You'll be surprised who be mad. God showed you grace and mercy because he seen you trying. They saw the same thing God saw. They They saw that you was trying, but people are just not God. They're not gonna. I swear, they want to have every quality, the power, the money, being a king, and a higher power. It has a lot more to do with money and gold and riches. That's when people can get to know God a little better. They like, oh, that's the God of the poor. Bro, it say many, many times in the Bible that God is very, very rich. But I've walked with him closely enough that I'm even ready to see more about that part. Not just mega preachers, mega church preachers, and they got the most than everybody in the church. I'm like, well, God, if this is true in your word, you do say you got riches stored up in heaven, riches. And Jesus was even telling them when he was here. They kept looking at what he got on, what he had, didn't have. He kept trying to tell them, hey, I'm rich. And the kind of riches I got, and look, the devil has found some creative way, some new creative way that it's a scripture that say, will a man rob God? I don't know why I say that. It said it. Like, will a man try it? I'm here to answer that question. A man will try it. And you're like, I'm going to steal from this person spiritually. I got $10 million for them in their future. I want it. I want to chase it before they even find out about it. What's funny, I already knew the devil like this. I might not have known he was going to try certain tactics in my life, but he will hunt your blessings out. Like, he hear you when you pray too. He be seeing some of y'all blessings and miracles right after he prayed it. The thing is, the reason it took so long to get to you, it was a demon fighting an angel. The angel that was on the way to answer your prayer, that was sent 10 demons against that one angel. That angel been fighting hard as hell for you just to keep that blessing protected. Because just because you don't see that answer prayer uh, within the first 3 months, because I'm just a witness. There's been prayers I felt like I seen the answer the very next day. And then there was other prayers you're like, God, I forgot about this. You just now answering me? Trust me, I understand. I forgot I asked you for this. I don't even think I want the boots no more, Lord. I asked for these 10 years ago, right? And then it's the other prayers that it seemed like you got an immediate answer. So that's what made me pay attention to that anyway in my life, whoever it might help. Like, I mean, yeah, divine timing is another thing. Another thing is grace and mercy. Sometimes you don't even deserve what you just prayed for. God respect your guts. Like, do you know what you just asked me for and whose mouth it just came out of? I mean, do you know who you are? Do you know who I am? And you talking about, can I make a change in your life? Can I break this generational curse off your family? Stuff that seems just absolute when it comes to impossible to people. That's where grace and mercy come in. What we call miracles, signs, and wonders. Thank you for the encouraging word in the chat. I'm sure I just don't need to hear that. A lot of people need to hear that, that God is ready to forgive you at any moment. But forgiveness is always a two-way street. You can't just plead for God's forgiveness and go back doing the same thing. That's why a lot of people rather keep sinning. They're not ready to change it. Um, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you should come to God when you're ready, you know? Because why come talking about you sorry for something you know you're gonna do it again? Like, is it really sincere? It's different when you say, I'm sorry, I keep stealing from you. Can you help me stop? That's different. The person might actually be interested in helping you stop stealing from you. If there's a way to help, well, come on, let's put you in some stealing classes, some theft prevention classes or something. But at least you ask for help. That's more of a sign that you're really trying to stop something that that might be hurting you, hurting others. Woo, woo, woo. But I'll never agree with it. Like, oh, you my boyfriend now. You can now whoop my kids. Never. And I've never been known to be that way either. problem because no man has ever asked to discipline my kids. But it goes both ways. You got some women, that's your boyfriend, daughter come home. You think you can discipline her. This where a bunch of messy drama be getting started too sometimes. You be ready, because parents can't see you for putting your hands on a child and they ain't considered that. And it damn sure looks crazy if they don't even put their hands on their kids. They don't even spank their kids, whoop their kids. What do you know? I think with like males, it's even worse because if you just got revolving boyfriends coming in the door, and no matter who your boyfriend is, that's who their daddy is. That they like, don't be teaching kids that. Like, oh yeah, he can tell me what to do as long as he's my boyfriend. Since when? Like, mom, that's your boyfriend. What you got to do with me? I mean, it's those things though. I'm gonna speak of like, let's say if you don't have nobody to say they free, because they be like sometimes healing your inner child is simply doing things for your kids that you feel like nobody was there to do for you. Straight up, and that's more than financial. It could be just somebody speaking up for you or standing on your truth with you, no matter who say you lie. I'm your mom. You know what I'm saying? Not every kid has that being raised. Whatever the boyfriend said you did, the mama don't believe. Kind of stuff be creating future long-term narcissists. Because they feel like when they grow up, ain't nobody gonna tell them what to do. They couldn't say nothing about all the people mom and daddy did discipline them. That's why I like to know, like, who said what to you? Because adults can be sneaky. Like, why are you calling yourself easing up disciplining somebody else's child? Like, did they physically say with their words, "Can you discipline my child, please?" Like, you don't hear parents saying that every day. That's because you ask for a little help. Like, hey, can you talk to my child? Maybe she needs somebody to talk to. They ain't asking you to discipline her. What? That's asking for you to be a support system, maybe, or somebody that child can vent to. That's not saying, hey, I need you to discipline my child and teach my child a lesson. What's wrong with people? But it shows where people mind be. Like, well, if I'm gonna be in control, this is how I'm gonna make your child learn. So it really do be hard to like people be like, oh, it take a village. Um, well, you gotta trust the village that's saying that they need to support you. Don't just say it takes a village. If the village is sitting up betraying one another, you got a problem. The village got more problems on their hands than disciplining somebody's child. Just like people were saying about those Chicago kids that jumped that pregnant lady, they was like, if that was my kids, I would have did this, and that. It's so weird when they know that's just one story that we know about. Like how many people get jumped in Chicago every day? That's been going on. But people were more moved and touched by this story because, of course, the person they jumped was pregnant. So to them, you know, went too far. And they was asking, where's these kids' parents at? And it shows what they've been taught. Like, yeah, you can harm and hurt and commit violence against anybody. Yeah, this undisciplined people, they are gonna think that way. It's crazy how it's like bad, evil organizations more organized sometimes, more disciplined than a lot of these people that say they are trying to help people. Where's the discipline? Discipline is not being biased to one person. Discipline will tell you being biased to that one person, mess around and mess your whole operation up. That's the one person God sent you to help, right? People don't want to believe sometimes they were the answer prayer. You'll be surprised who God used to answer somebody's prayer, right? Um, for example, you could have needed a ride, you call an Uber. $2 short to pay for the Uber. The Uber driver tell you don't worry about it. They give you the whole ride for free. So now you feel like the Uber driver was an answered prayer. Is the Uber driver God? No. But it's a sign that God heard you, like whatever breakthrough you needed for that moment. It really is a blessing to pray step by step. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just praying from a greedy place, like, God, I need $10 million by tomorrow. Pray step by step. Tell God, I need a loaf of bread. Now I need some socks, God. Now I don't. He say his riches are unsurmountable. Like there's no calculation to God's riches. So you can never come and ask for too much. Uh, which I'm still understanding that God is, I'm even one of those people. God is like, you see all these little prayers I be answering. When you gonna open your mouth and like pray for some things you want. You always praying for other people, which is nothing wrong with. But if I can do these little things in your life, you would think them step by step prayers turn into you praying other things. Okay, you've been through this level, that level already. You're ready to go to the next level type of deal. You know? So, anyways, I just wanted to come and give my little commentary and reaction to what I feel like people shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody come in your life trying to just bogart disciplining your kids, like that's the first thing that they ready to do, something's wrong with that. Many people in the world that pass out discipline don't get it twisted, but how you gonna discipline somebody you don't even have a relationship with? Like discipline and love are very interchangeable. You see what I'm saying? I can't look at it as it is. I can't even. You ain't even showed me a little love. You just came around calling yourself discipline me. Why would I respect you? You know. So I think the same way when it comes to children or youth or anybody. Thank you guys for tuning in.